The rule for disjunction elimination is the less intuitive rules among the rules of derivation for disjunction. So here I have a couple of examples that hopefully will make this rule more intuitive. As I said, this rule formalizes the idea of proof by cases. The first example I have is from Alice in the Wonderland by Lewis Carroll. At some point we read, soon her eye, Alice's eye, fell on a little glass box that was lying under the table. She opened it and found a very small cake on which the words "Eat me" were beautifully marked in currants. And Alice at this point reasons in the following way, and she's going through a proof by cases. She reasons, well, I'll eat it, said Alice, and if it makes me larger, that's case number one, I can reach the key. And if it makes me smaller, that's the second case, I can creep under the door. So either way, I'll get into the garden. So given the two cases, it makes me larger or it makes me smaller, Alice says the conclusion that I'll get into the garden, that I go through the door, either by opening it or going down underneath, so the conclusion I'll get into the garden follows. Here's another example, more abstract, from a Buddhist work. If something is known, giving a definition of it is useless. That's the first case. If something is not known, giving a definition of it is impossible and hence useless. So that's the second case. And you see that both these two cases lead to the same conclusion, namely that giving a definition of what is, of the something in question, is useless. Therefore, either way, either of the two cases, from either of the two cases, it follows that giving a definition of something is useless. The two examples that we have seen, one from Alice in the Wonderland and from Buddhist logic, are examples of proof by cases. They go through two different cases and they show that from each of them the same conclusion follows. So if you see, that's precisely the structure that we see here in our rule of disjunction elimination. We have one case symbolized by the proposition phi, the formula phi, the other case symbolized by the formula psi. We reach the same conclusion in either case, namely sigma, and therefore we can derive from the disjunction of either phi or psi the same conclusion, sigma. This is what the rule for disjunction elimination says, and this is the idea underlying proof by cases.